It's shaping up to be a congested summer here in Boston, so if you think the traffic on your commute is bad now, you should know it's about to get much worse. In just a couple weeks, the Sumner Tunnel is set to close for nearly 2 months, and transportation officials are hoping commuters will heed their warnings to ditch their cars and opt for public transportation instead. They're hoping to divert as many of the roughly 39,000 drivers that pass through the tunnel every day as possible, as experts anticipate it'll take commuters an extra hour to get where they're going by car. As part of that effort, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation announced that both the Blue Line and the East Boston Ferry will be free for riders during the nearly 2-month shutdown. But MBTA slow zones, service cuts, and station infrastructure issues are doing little to ease commuters' concerns. Joining me now to discuss is Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, along with Globe transportation reporter Taylor Dolvin. Taylor, Mayor Wu, thanks so much for joining me today. Mayor Wu, I want to start with you. Last year, we had something similar happen with the Orange Line shutdown, and on short notice, the city implemented a transportation network of makeshift bus lanes, bike lanes, and to alleviate the potential traffic that was anticipated from that shutdown. Is your administration doing anything similar for the Sumner closure this summer?
We've had a little bit more time to plan on this one. It was just about 2 weeks notice with the Orange Line shutdown, so that was quite intense. But here, it's been many months of conversation, and it won't be easy because unlike the Orange Line where there were two ways, you could either go underground or you could try to get through above ground. The tunnel is the tunnel, and the other mechanisms to get over or through or under the water are quite cumbersome. So I'm very glad that the administration has been so responsive in heeding the call and requests for other alternatives to be more accessible. The free Blue Line will go a long way, and I know they're working to try to ensure that there's mitigation in other ways, the free ferry service as well on the water. So every possible route that can help provide relief is being implemented and trying to be expanded.
And can I ask, do you think this is an opportunity to convince people to get out of their cars longer term, even after the tunnel reopens?
It's the hope. For me, there's two lessons here. One is that our infrastructure in a historic city, many of those bills are coming due in terms of delayed and deferred maintenance that is now at the point of crumbling and being physically dangerous for people, whether it is on our tracks and transportation infrastructure in the subway or tunnels, bridges, roads, some of the pipes and water as well. We have a lot of work to do, and each of these mechanisms represents an opportunity to think about how we're actually making those generational investments in making more modes accessible, or even reminding ourselves of the maintenance that has to go alongside all of the new investments that are being made, so we're not recreating this situation down the line. And then the other lesson is that we do have to activate multiple ways to get where we need to go. If any single one of them has some barrier or situation comes up for maintenance or needing a fix, having that plan for water transportation to be expanded all across the various routes in the Inner Harbor, or having a commitment to be able to turn on and off ways to ease the financial barrier for residents. We've seen the impact on the bus line, and now we'll get to see it on the subway as well.
Taylor, your reporting has shed light on the transportation woes around Boston. Article after article shows us, what is going on. Can you give us a little bit of a sense of, how Boston fares compared to peer cities when it comes to transit infrastructure and preparing for the future?
Yeah, as the mayor mentioned, our transit system, specifically the MBTA subway system, is old. It's the oldest in the country. So maintaining it over lots and lots of years has been a challenge. And I think now we're seeing some of those problems really rear their heads. And when we have parts of stations collapsing, tracks in disrepair, needing maintenance. So it's not, specifically unique to the MBTA, but there's certainly that challenge. I also think, sometimes it's not just infrastructure, right? It's staffing, which has been a really big challenge at the MBTA specifically. We've seen the MBTA really fall behind other agencies when it comes to hiring, for example, bus drivers to be able to restore service. So, those are things I'm watching and, challenges that are certainly not unique to the T, but seem to be plaguing it, ongoing plaguing.
Mayor Wu, you recently sent the city budget back to the city council. One of the issues with that budget, it seemed like, was there wasn't enough transportation funds. Are you feeling confident that you'll have enough money for transportation in the year ahead?
We are a week to go in the budget cycle before the deadline. So our hope is that the budget we have sent back represents a healthy investment while being fiscally responsible. Do we have enough funding for transportation? No. I mean, the scale of what needs to be done across electrification, across expansion of services, even just on what is under city jurisdiction alone, we could do a whole lot more. We've actually changed the approach that city government is taking. Previously, the most that we would do if everyone on a street agreed might be to add a speed hump or put up a stop sign. What ended up happening very often is that even if traffic was calmed or slowed on that street, it would get pushed over to a neighboring side street or the one next to that. And so we're really taking much more of a zone by zone planning approach to think about all the ways in which traffic flow, multimodal access for bicyclists, pedestrians, and public transit all fit together. And so what we're calling a safety surge citywide is meant to really focus on how to ensure all of our streets are safe, that we can keep people getting to where they need to go, but that it is not sacrificing the health and lives of those who are using our roads, not in vehicles.
And Taylor, how do you feel about the traffic problems overall? Do you feel, is it worsening? Is this something that you think is just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse because of the problems that you outlined with the MBTA?
I think fundamentally, if we want people to give up their cars, the other modes need to be able to compete with the convenience of a car. So, for example, to get from the Globe offices today to the studio we're in now is about a 4-mile trip, and Google Maps showed me it's a 14-minute drive or a 55-minute trip on the MBTA. For someone who has the time to be able to do that and can save some money, that option is there. But if we're gonna really get those, choice riders, people who can make either decision, transit and cycling and walking really have to be able to compete with driving. And I think that's where the challenge is.
And Mayor Wu, when it comes to the problems of the MBTA, that's obviously not your responsibility. It's a state agency, but you are the mayor of the city that it serves. I wanted to ask you, since Governor Healy has taken over and there's been a new manager at the MBTA, has your partnership with them improved from the prior administration?
We are, as you say, even though it's not directly within our control, although we are lobbying very vociferously for a seat on the MBTA governance board for the city of Boston and are seeing some progress in terms of inclusion of that item in the state legislature's budget this year. Everything that we do depends on people being able to get around. We have seen news of residents moving out of the state or people who are working in downtown Boston not coming back in person as many days or at all. And what I hear from employer after employer and groups of employees when I get the chance to meet with the workforce is that a lot of it's the housing crisis and it's our transportation infrastructure. These two are the make or break issues that are confronting our entire region right now, and certainly the city. And so we intend to be as involved as we can, as strong of a partner as possible on transportation. What we're doing to supplement and complement and collaborate with the MBTA has been building over the 18 months that I've had the honor to be in this role, created dedicated staffing to focus on partnering with the MBTA. There are now standing meetings on a variety of issues, from snow plowing to coordinating on dedicated bus lanes and how the planning for that happens. And so we see this as intricately intertwined, and our goal is to stay as heavily involved in public transportation as we can be, because that's what our residents need.
And do you think you have a cooperative partner in Governor Healy? Do you think that she is putting enough pressure on the MBTA to deliver on what it needs to the residents here?
I do. And the governor knows that I'm just obsessed with wanting to make sure our transportation system works. And so it's often the first thing that she'll mention to me when I run into her. The general manager is settling in. We've had very productive conversations with him and with his team already. And we're down in the weeds on many of these items. It's everything from traffic and congestion on our streets and the functioning of our downtown economy to, in some ways, micro issues such as whether the new potential O'Brien School moving to West Roxbury could be served by the commuter rail lines that are already running directly next to the school. So the infrastructure is there, even if the access is not yet there. And how do we plan a couple years into the future? So we've put a lot on their plate, and we're eager to step up and offer as much as we can in partnership.
Taylor, you wrote an article that mentioned another reason why people should get out of their cars, and that is that there are a lot of pedestrian deaths in the U.S., and Boston is not necessarily an outlier. So, you know, how bad is it when it comes to pedestrian safety in Boston and Massachusetts?
Yeah, but the U.S. overall and Massachusetts are certainly trending in the wrong direction. When you look at other developed countries, since over the last few decades, most of those countries have been in a downward trend, steadily reducing the number of people who die in car accidents, whether that's people driving cars, passengers, pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists. And so, it's a really unique to the U.S. in that way. And so, experts say that one of the top things that needs to happen in cities and states and across the country is enforcement. And so I know that's something that the city has pushed for. Right now, the city doesn't have the ability to implement something called automatic enforcement, which would be, speed or red light cameras, trying that out and seeing how it works. Boston, just looking at the data last year compared to this year, it seems like may actually be trending in the right direction. And so I've talked to the chief of streets about this, and it's sort of too early to say what's working there, but certainly the state and the country have a long way to go in that regard.
Mayor Wu, I want to close out with you. You've been a big advocate for free transit. Yeah, two free bus pilots under your leadership have yielded good results so far, preliminary. Are you hoping the free Blue Line and the free ferry kind of show people the benefits of free transit? What are you hoping to get out of this?
The proof points are there, and we're eager to see them applied across any part of the system. Even during the Orange Line shutdown, when the bike share system, our Blue Bikes, were free for all, we set and then broke 9 different records for usage in just that 30-day period. And so would I love to see more validation? Absolutely. Fundamentally, though, this is about trying to mitigate what will be immense inconvenience and frustration for our residents. This is also an area of the city where they are very transit dependent as well, many working class families. And so the ridership of the Blue Line actually has made a much stronger recovery to pre-pandemic ridership levels, even compared to the other subway lines. People are using it already, and we want to make sure that everyone knows it is a resource and that there are alternatives to be able to have people still be able to go through their daily lives as this is shut down over the summer.
Mayor Wu, Taylor Dolvin, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.